Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Today on the program, it's a very special guest. Again, finishing up the two-part series on bourbon-adjacent offerings, Sid Azcona. Sid, welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me.
And you wore the same shirt you wore on the last episode.
Yeah. What a coincidence, right?
We filmed it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But people will have to wait a week to see this when it comes out, right? Sid, before we get into this bourbon, right? You've been on the program now. This is, I think, your third time.
Third one. Yep.
Third time. Trace Tiempo.
Tercera vez.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about some of the amazing things that Mexico has to offer, right? And you're wearing the Mexico shirt, right?
Touristic place,
Dia de los Muertos or whatever. But one thing I was thinking about is I was driving today from Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin.
Oh,
beautiful country.
That's
right?
what I heard.
I was driving back to Illinois, and it struck me that as I was driving, there was a part of the drive where there was a billboard that said McDonald's at exit 88, at exit 85, and at exit 80. Like McDonald's, they're everywhere.
Yeah. There's,
and it's not just McDonald's. I mean, here in Bloomington, normal, there's probably at least 4 or 5 McDonald's.
and every 4 or 5 McDonald's, they have lines waiting for coffee and McDonald's breakfast every single morning.
That's right. Oh, McDonald's breakfast is delicious, though.
Yeah.
The sausage we go with the egg, I love that.
Yeah. That dip that they give it for the grab.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
But here in the United States, what I was getting at is that the proliferation of fast food it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And I spent about a year in Mexico myself, and that's not enough time to really say that I really absorbed what was happening in Mexico. But I've been to a McDonald's. I've been to a Carl's Jr. with you actually in Puebla.
And it tastes different, like the Carl's Jr. in California.
It does. But there aren't it's not like at every single street corner there's not a McDonald's and a Taco Bell.
Yeah, no.
Is Taco Bell even in Mexico?
They just started, I think, but I mean,
but
when they realize
there isn't the fast food offerings.
No.
But they have a lot of other offerings.
Yeah, the mimic of the fast food, I think, is the street food. Street food is part of the economy in Mexico.
Okay.
Like every single family that when they are in trouble, they're like, okay, let's go for street food, and it's always something to go with, and you will always find street food in Mexico. Yeah, definitely. Mexico City.
So it's not just like there's street food vendors that have the tacos and some of that, right?
Yeah, and what we call garnacha.
Garnacha. And what's that?
It's all the different things that they put with corn dog and pan of a plate, like an empty, like either pork skin fried or either
chicharrones.
Food. Yeah, exactly.
Or
food, or beef, chicken, pork, anything with a salsa. Okay. And then put it in a dough. Different methods, different times, but it's kind of the same.
Like Empanada,
like something like that. Yeah, that they put the dough and they put it inside the food.
That's a Mexican pierogi.
Oh yeah, like
But so
it's a good definition.
So when I've been there before, and I've seen some of these street vendors, and it smelled so good, but I was always told it's not for you.
Yeah. The smell is always great. It's always great because food and salsa and peppers and everything matches, right? But it's also a matter of what bacteria are there, right?
Okay.
And like me, in my case, that I have been in US for almost 8 years. There are some times when I eat street food that it was like, I think I have lost that bacteria, so now I feel sick.
Is there a term for that? Like when you've been a Mexican, but you've been away from Mexico for so long, and then you go back and you're like you're gringoized. Are you part gringo? Right.
Not a part, but I think I am getting like American stomach.
When you go to
American hype.
When you go to cities like Cancun or Veracruz or the areas that are on the Gulf, right? Is it a lot more seafood, like right off the fresh catch?
Oh yeah, definitely. Last time, I think a year. I don't know when I went to Mexico and I went to Oaxaca. to the
It's
to
cheese.
the beach.
Oaxaca is cheese.
It's a type of
Yeah.
but also state. And I went to Puerto Escondido, and there the food was amazing. Like you know that all the fish that they were selling next to the beach, it was they were fishing that in the morning or maybe the day before.
Yeah.
So it's fresh. Like no matter how they cook it, it's fresh. You can tell. So sometimes actually they are really bad cooking it. Like with the recipes, the salsas are not great or
Really?
something. Yeah. They can fail on that.
Huh.
But how fresh the ingredients are is what helps you to it is good.
Pass by.
Yeah.
Okay. So today on the episode, we've got Martell Blue Swift,
Yeah, this discover.
and this is another one this is a first for me. This is a cognac. I've never had cognac in my life.
Never in your life.
This is almost like a
I don't know if it's gonna like you because you're gonna like it because it's different.
Well,
It's
so
completely different from bourbon or whiskey or beer.
but from the research I did, we're all gonna learn together.
Yeah,
Right. So
we're the same.
this is again the second and last non-bourbon
And last,
program on the program, right? It's our part of our two-part bourbon adjacent programming, a little mini series. What the hell is this we have today? This is Martell Blue Swift Cognac, finished in bourbon casks.
it has part of bourbon, so maybe it can fit.
I've never tried cognac in my life.
Okay,
Right? And I don't know a damn thing about cognac.
this is the date.
I learned a little bit here, and now we're going to learn together. And I'm going to absolutely massacre, like I did in the last episode. I'm going to massacre some words.
Yeah.
It's going to be. It's going to be.
It's because it's
gonna be
French.
disastrous.
And,
Yeah. So Martell is a cognac house founded in 1715 by Jean Martell. It is the oldest of the big four cognac houses. The others being probably more recognizable: Hennessy, Remy Martin, and Courvoisier. Due to their prolific use in rap music, right? Artists such as Jay-Z, Tupac, 50 Cent, and Busta Rhymes have all referenced cognac. Heck, Jay-Z and 50 Cent had at one point their own brand of liquid.
Can I add a funny fact about
You
Hennessy?
can add whatever you want.
On the Hennessy one, it's in Mexico's military. They are the gift that they give between military like compliments. They do Hennessy because when one of the dictators from Mexico from the 1910s to 1920s, Porfirio Diaz, they left a letter on his house and say, hey, everything that is in the basement is for all the military army people.
Really?
And when they went to the basement,
The
it was
Hennessy.
full of Hennessy. Full of Hennessy.
I love
bottles.
this.
So that's why when in the military they came to like, hey, if you want to give a gift to someone, either upgrade or down, like any level, you give a Hennessy cognac.
Okay.
Because that's what Porfirio Diaz gave to the army back on the 19th.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's good marketing.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So back to Martell though. They are the world's second largest producer of cognac per year. They make approximately 27 million bottles a year.
That's all.
27 million bottles a year.
Million.
As a point of reference, Bardstown Bourbon Company, it was reviewed previously this season, is in the top 10 bourbon distillers in the U.S. They make about a quarter of the volume that Martell makes. A quarter of the volume. Martell was also the first producer to ship cognac to the United States in 1783, coinciding with the Treaty of Paris that recognized the United States of America as an independent nation.
The first thing that they trade after the Paris trade.
So, I mean, you think about this, like bourbon is the official drink of the United States,
Yep.
right? So here's the very first offering recognizing the United States as a country. So, I mean, you talk about lineage, we'll get to that when we go to the scoring.
It is part of, right?
The product specifically is said with the bourbon cask. This specific offering was first introduced in 2017, and it was in celebration of a 230 plus year relationship with getting Americans drunk.
That's a good anniversary.
Also, Martell cognac was served during the signing of the World War I armistice in France. So
That's a slap in the face,
There
right?
we go.
Like, hey,
So what is cognac? Like bourbon, it's a highly regulated liquid produced. To be designated as cognac, the liquid must be a type of brandy produced exclusively within the designated cognac region of France, using a specific grape varieties and distillation method aged in French oak barrels Sounds a little bit like bourbon.
Yeah.
Right? So I like it already.
Yeah, that
Right?
has its own identity.
But there's more.
From a different country, though.
The Cognac region of France is approximately 332 square miles, as designated by the Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée, or AOC, but not the AOC. Not that AOC. Different AOC.
Yeah.
Right?
The other AOC, yeah.
Not on this show. Not on this show.
Yeah, not part of this channel. Yeah.
Within the Cognac region, there are 6 distinct crus, which are pretty much like territories, it sounds like. There are 6 areas that produce different flavors due to the soil and climate conditions. It sounds like there's also regulations about what types and ratios of grapes that can be used, but we don't get into that.
Yeah,
Ordinary Guys Bourbon.
Yeah, they are.
The pressed grapes ferment and then are distilled twice in fancy named pot stills. I won't even bother to try to name these vessels, but they're pot stills.
Yeah, right. French have that thing.
After distillation, the liquid must be aged in French oak casks that come from either the Limousin.
So you have a French drink here.
Or Transwamp forests for minimum periods.
Have you been in France?
No. I'm a NAFTA traveler. Canada, United States, Mexico only.
Would you go to France?
No. During the blending process, the youngest cognacs used define the age statement classification of the bottle. So there's 4 main age descriptions or designations.
That is great.
Yeah, so VS stands for very special. It must have the youngest produced. The youngest produced could be 2 years old. VSOP stands for very superior old pale.
Not for Virgen Santísima otro pedo. It's for very special.
Very superior old pale.
Very special old pale. Not Virgen Santísima otro pedo. That's what they used to call it.
You said perro, that's dog.
No, my also in the army, because I grew up with my uncles. They work in the army. Well, they are lieutenants.
Careful. We don't want to tip too many hands. There's some confidentiality here.
But they have this when they say it's VSOP, it means Virgen Santísima otro pedo, which is Holy Mary. This is another thing. So that's what they say in there.
Okay. Well, so to be a VSOP, it has to be a minimum of 4 years old, and that's what we're having today. This is a VSOP. Some VSOPs are also called reserve.
Oh yeah,
They go the same thing. XO stands for extra old. That's not very creative. The youngest must be aged 10 years, and then XXO stands for. Can you guess?
Let me guess.
Extra old. Yeah.
Almost got it.
Pretty creative. It must be aged for a minimum of 14 years in the barrel.
Okay.
So 2 infrequently used and not officially recognized.
The Martell XO is great. Hennessy XO is great.
Well,
180,000.
Maybe different program.
Okay, different.
So Napoleon is an infrequently used age designation of minimum 6-year-old product.
And that's what it shows.
I like that. And Ordinary.
Nice French.
Horace d'Age?
I don't know.
Horace.
Only English and Spanish.
Beyond
and
age.
Barely English.
It's not recognized by the Bureau National Interprofessionnel du Cognac, the BNIC.
There is a Bureau National Professional
of
Cognac.
Of course. Of course, please, of course, of course.
Yeah, I know.
But producers will sometimes use this to differentiate and market a particularly high quality product that is beyond the age scale. So that's it. This is a VSOP product. So the youngest grapes used in the blend were aged 4 years in the barrel. It's made of cognacs primarily from the Borderies Cru, but it also has grapes from the Grand Champagne. Champagne. There's a G. Champagne?
Well, in Spanish it's like champagne.
Petite Champagne?
I don't know French.
And Fins Bouilly Terroirs.
Terroir.
See that?
Terroir.
I put the like how to say it. What's that called? When you
I don't know. It's like cacophony.
Yeah. But well, so that's what we got here. So this is
El phonema.
Phonetic.
Yes,
phonetic in English. So this is the first time I've ever had cognac. Ever.
It is hard because I know that I mean,
but you
breaking for you.
You read about it, and like a lot of people like Cognac is something that like if you're starting to learn and explore bourbon, which is what our show is really about, right?
Yeah.
Here's something that is Cognac that's fancy, right? I heard Busta Rhymes talk about Courvoisier. He has a song all about past Courvoisier.
With Coke that tastes good.
Well, but either way, like, and here's something that was finished in bourbon casks.
Then that links you to this channel.
So that's where this part 2 of the miniseries, right? So it was a good time to have this. I think it fits into what we're trying to do with this little,
reaching the ordinary guys to bourbon.
And again, like if you like what we're trying to do here on this channel is we're trying to make things more approachable, right? And there's thousands of different kinds of bourbons, thousands. And you go to the store and you're buying something based on what you think is
a big aisle.
Yeah, this bottle looks nice,
Stop choosing because of the price tag.
Well, let's just explore some things together, right? But before we started to have this bottle here, I didn't know a damn thing about Cognac, right? And
I didn't know anything about
bourbon. I might not like this. I don't know, right? I've took a couple sips on this, a couple little nibbles.
It's going to be hard because it's completely different.
But like on part 1, we had Scotch that was finished in tequila barrels.
But it's closer to bourbon, maybe?
Because it's whiskey, right? But that was interesting to have, right?
Did you like it?
I not as much as you did. I think you've gone back and had a couple extra.
No, definitely. It has memory.
I think your glass had a little hole in it that was leaking out. So you're trying to replenish.
Yeah, I still remind me that the old days, and it was like,
yeah. But here's an opportunity for us to all learn something together, and we'll have a sample together. Again, because it was finished in bourbon casks, I feel it's close enough, right? This also was a gift, also from you, Sid.
You're the best.
Online, this is like a $45 thing.
A great boss.
Again, that seems a little shifty for me to report. But nonetheless, here's Martell Blue Swift. And
neat.
Sid, love having you on the program again. Here's our neat sample. It doesn't taste unlike a bourbon.
It doesn't taste like a bourbon?
No, it doesn't taste unlike a bourbon.
Okay. It has that finishing, right? Very, very low.
It has the sweetness that, like we talked about, like the difference between Scotch on the last episode. The difference between Scotch and bourbon, and how like bourbon is sweeter and Scotch is more dry.
Yeah.
Right. Scotch tastes more like you're grabbing a clump of earth and drinking that.
Yeah. With a little bit of sugar and a little water.
Some campfire. Like let me just drink a campfire. Like if you're.
It's a smoke. Like you put water in the smoke.
Exactly.
You shake it.
Yeah.
And you take. Yeah.
And
I see that.
But this has a sweeter taste, like what I like about bourbon.
Like the viscosity. It's heavy. It is heavy.
Well, we're not allowed to talk about viscosity in Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Not allowed at all.
So we're calling it the weight.
French people really hate Americans, though.
You think so?
Oh my goodness!
Come on, I have heard.
Oh my goodness!
I have heard a lot of people say, "Oh, Japanese hate Americans, French hate Americans." I don't think so.
Well, in fairness, everyone hates Americans. Literally everybody, and whatever. I was in Montreal many years ago.
Well, Montreal is Canada, it's not France.
But Montreal thinks they're French. Like they want
that
to
is a good one because they think that what French are like.
I think, and again, I didn't do the research, but I think Montreal for a while wanted to secede from Canada completely and wanted to be their own sovereign.
Oh, really?
And like everyone in Canada, like,
and then miserably failed.
Well, but in Canada, there's English and French. So you see like the even if you're driving in Ontario, like right across the water from Detroit, like you'll have speed limit signs, and the signs will be in English, and then like 100 feet later they'll be in French.
So if Canada is so close from Detroit, and you have worked a lot in Michigan, so you have worked a lot with Canadians?
A lot, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and are they this Frenchy style? Or?
So I mean, most of Canada isn't, but in Montreal they very much are.
Oh, okay.
Right? And I went to a restaurant. I don't even remember what the supplier was, but I was at a supplier in Montreal, and we went to the beautiful city. There's a beautiful cathedral. I don't remember what it was called, but I walked into there and I was just taking in the history, right? And then I went to a restaurant, and I walked in, and I said, "There's one of me," right? And I think I was like, "We'll put you in the basement with the rest of the Americans." And no shit, we went in the basement. Right? That's where they ushered me down to. And here's my menu, and here's my table. And I looked around. There's nothing but Americans in the restaurant, in the basement. The rest of the restaurant was like for the mantra, and that that's fine too.
That can be called discrimination these days. It's a new era after COVID.
Easy there. I looked at it as the restaurant proper, the main accoutrements of the restaurant on the main level. They wanted to preserve that for the people that were from that area, right? Whether they were expatriates from America, who gives a shit? The locals were on the upstairs, and the tourists were in the basement. The food came from the same kitchen, right?
And the drinks cost the same.
But let's be honest. Let's be sugarcoating this. People in Montreal hate Americans, but so do people in a lot of areas of the world.
Not in Mexico. Mexico, everyone loves America.
I don't. That's entirely true.
Come on. Every Mexican. When you open the comments for this video and I ask, hey, these people they hate Americans in Mexico? They'll say, no, we love them. No, yeah. But then they'll say, I hate them. But either way, we give them the best food. We give them the best places.
Here's the thing, and again, we're not a political show.
Obviously,
right? People that have these very polarized opinions of anything, whether it's the U.S. or
this is for
Middle East or whatever, it's all based on politics, right? If you sit down and you have a meal with someone from any walk of life, right? You can sit down, have a meal, and find some common ground and learn from each other.
Definitely, 100%.
Maybe over a glass of bourbon. Or some Martell Blue Swift. Who knows?
Someone is going to say, "Hey!" But once I watched a video when they were explaining about Martell, and
people want to grab onto the politics of the time, right? And you think about things, and like politics are shaped by hundreds of years of history.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
and everyone has an opinion.
I 100% agree with you.
Everyone has an opinion, and I don't give a shit what the opinion is.
And the opinion could be so many different that you will never have someone that likes you.
I don't care on this program.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't care
on this program. We're finding common grounds.
Because it's a common ground.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what. I like this.
You like it?
I like this.
Your first cognac. So is this?
I'm not going to replace my cabinet.
But if you want to say, hey. Would you like a mezcal or do you like a cognac?
I don't want a mezcal at all. I guarantee I don't want a mezcal.
Mezcal or cognac?
Cognac. Yeah, absolutely. This is fantastic. Let's get to the scoring. Same ballot supply. Heritage. Now, let me remind you.
Heritage. I think it's an old one.
This cognac house was founded in 1715.
Yeah, this is
1715. That's insane.
Heritage is on a 20. 17.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Elijah Craig goes back to like the late 1700s. Now maybe the liquid hasn't changed, and this is a new offering with the finished bourbon casks.
You know French people that they take this type of food and drinks seriously. So they say
I love
1700s that when they made it.
Yeah, it's easy at 20.
Taste and drinkability.
So I really do like the sweetness to bourbon.
But drinkability, taste great, drinkability. What do you think? I feel it's hard on drinkability.
Again, like I've said it before, like a snowflake. Everyone has a different opinion.
Yep.
And everyone's entitled to the different ratings.
I'm gonna do something different so I can.
You're just trying to throw in some complicated math.
Yeah. I'm gonna hear my heart.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna go with a 35 on this.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it has that sweetness that I really enjoy. Right? You can. It tastes a lot like it tastes a lot like a bourbon. And crying out loud.
Really? So you found the bourbon notes on this one?
So, well, we don't talk about bourbon notes. We don't talk about the dragon fruit and these.
No, the bourbon.
So this is an 80
feel
proof.
like?
This is an 80 proof product, right? It to me it tastes like there's a little more heat than you can have on 80 proof bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
It's
stronger.
You need water?
No.
An agua?
27 for
Agua mineral?
drinkability. No, 27 for drinkability.
I'm going 35. I'm going 35. So affordability is the next one. Affordability. I said this was a $45 bottle-ish, right? And there's so much about part of the thing about cognacs for me is that whole mystery of the VS, VSOP, XO, right?
But now it's clarified.
Now it's clear, right? I don't know if I'll spend the time to put a little bubble with that. Like,
Maybe
I don't know. Like it's hard to edit videos.
Yeah,
you know,
it takes time. Someday the AI is going to do it for you.
When Mike Franciscovich was on a couple episodes ago, Mike often says the word right. Hey, I was a machinist, right? And right, we did this. I thought it was gonna be so funny. I was gonna do a thing where every single time he said right, I was gonna do like a little bell, bing, and a little counter.
Oh yeah, I have seen on
that would be funny.
That would be great.
He didn't say right away. Affordability, top score is 30, $45. Again, like I'm thinking, I know the bourbon spectrum. And what bourbon costs, and if I wanted to start exploring having some cognac on my shelf, $400 doesn't seem that unreasonable.
No, it's great.
You know?
Yeah. I don't think you're going to have a lot of room for cognac on your shelf.
Build a bigger shelf.
Well, maybe that could be.
Building the house.
Yeah, I know that.
Build the shelf to fit the.
You're going to create a studio just for you, like the size of the turn.
Yeah, that's part of the plan. I'm gonna give this a 20.
In your studio, you're going to put like a liquor storage in your studio, or do you want to split that studio and a liquor storage? So you're going to have when you have a studio, you say, hey, the studio can live with my alcohol. Or do you need to split them?
I think that's a perfect backdrop, right? So if we're doing a program and you had just racks and racks of bourbon behind you, like watch SLB Drinks.
Okay.
Right. I love this guy's program. It's a father and son, and they record. I think they got 700 views now or something like that. But I mean, they're phenomenal, and they do a lot. I mean, they're a lot smarter than I am, and they go into a lot of detail about all the things I sample. But they've got like their whole. They've renovated their basements recently, basement bourbon bar or something like that. But they've renovated their basement spaces, and they've got like. Here's a collection here. The father has like a hidden room that he's put in his basement. It's like a speakeasy kind of thing. And he's got some of his better bourbons and better collections down there. And there's family ties to things. It's an amazing program, right? So I think that will be the background ultimately as we continue to build like part of my collection.
But that's for your studio of recording in studio. What about your working studio? Would you combine your working studio with alcohol?
Well, I'm gonna be a farmer, so like the working studio is gonna be like a dozer.
Oh, okay.
Some like chicken equipment.
So you will split that.
Vince and Vito are betting against me being a farmer.
Nah, come on.
There'll be a whole new YouTube channel for that.
Oh, so you're going to create a YouTube channel for farming?
Of course. Yeah.
Is it going to be part of this ordinary?
No.
Ordinary Guys
Bourbon
at the farm.
Ordinary Guys Farming.
Ordinary Guys Farming. Do you already decide what is going to be the farming?
So, what are you going to do like the name? I'm thinking.
No, what are you going to be farming?
Well, I've got some ideas.
Not decided yet. And the channel, Ordinary Farming Guys.
No.
You came
No.
with something
So, there's a couple names that keep on floating around my.
that we're not going to disclose now because.
Well, I don't
It's
want someone to trademark it.
Yeah, I know.
But I've got some ideas, but it ties back to lineage with the family and stuff like that. But
That's great.
design, maximum 10.
Very simple.
What do you go?
I have a 5. Very simple.
I'm going with a 7. I think.
You like the edges?
I like the edges, I like the shape of the bottle, right? I think a 7 is the right score.
White and just blue and some.
This is a high score for me.
Come on.
Yeah.
I did lower than you this time.
And I'm surprised.
I know.
So you got a 73.
Maybe because I have drunk cognac before and I really like. So maybe I am being a little bit like more thorough with this guy.
This might be my highest score of season 2
So far.
in totality. Todos los cervezas. Alcoholes. I've got an 82.
The spirits.
82.
82.
And that's a high score.
73. And I feel like I've been generous just because of the heritage.
But the heritage is you
Yeah,
can't
you
argue.
cannot. Yeah, you can
argue.
argue. Yeah.
So this was good. I love that. I
If you compare one story of the bourbon with one story of the cognac, the story of the cognac are older or
no? Well, yeah. I mean, based on this, right? From Martell to be founded in 1715.
okay.
That's older, right? I mean, the United States was founded in what 1776?
Yeah, we did say 18, right?
Right. So this would have been before the United States even existed. So I don't know when the Mayflower was sailing over. Yeah. I'm a good American. I don't know the kind of drink.
Oh, this is good.
But very, very similar though. There's regulations about where it can be produced and you know what's in it, what kind of
But do you like it though?
staves it has to have. I do. I really do like it.
Next time you need to drink it with Coke, the soda.
As this one?
Yeah, just pour the Martell and then either Pepsi or Coke.
Doesn't that kind of like cheapen?
But we said that it's affordable.
Yeah, but like a Jack and Coke or a Bourbon and Coke.
You are not going to regret to put Coke on cognac.
But if you're having like a really good bourbon, like you wouldn't take Happy Van Winkle and say, look, it's a Coke.
No, yeah, I would.
You would?
I am the type of guy. I mean, the
know-
other day I told Vince, another guy,
Yeah.
I told him, and that's something I believe. Maybe I don't like the alcohol. I like sodas that get you drunk.
Well, you know, and that's one thing I do like is that like we start this off by saying like we'll have a neat sample and then the other sample would be any damn way you want, right? And that was really Fred No, who's one of the master distillers at Jim Beam. I think he told a story about like his father or someone in his family like, in that lineage of Jim Beam said like the best way to have bourbon is any damn way you like it, right? Which is great because like if you're marketing, how are you want to put Coke in there? Great. You want to put Red Bull in there? Whatever. You want to put water in there? You want to have it neat? You want ice? Whatever.
Root beer the other day I did whiskey with
Who
root
gives a
beer.
shit? How are people going to drink it, right? There's purists that say like you should only have it neat, or you should only have it in the. They have fancy glasses.
Yeah, but the purists like to be in the picture. Like
But
I
that's
like
the
to get
problem.
drunk.
That's the problem, right? I like to sample things, learn about their history, and say like, hey, where does this stack up?
Yeah.
You know. So
Something to think about while you're drinking it, right?
I'll try this one with Coke. I mean, we've got a little bit left in the bottle, right? But Martell Blue Swift Cognac VSOP, finished in bourbon casks. I think this was a good sample.
That's good.
So until next time, from Ordinary Guys Bourbon, and don't worry, next week we go back to our normal programming of having bourbon only on the show.
No more of the stuff.
From Siddharta Azcona and myself, cheers.